So, something else I wanted to share pertaining to the health of the scalp, but for the entire body. You may have or may have not seen some of my videos where I talk about how the human body is like a little mini earth. And, this example of if you if you look at an ecosystem in the wild, you'll observe that there's specific types of plants, animals, bugs, and there is a perfect balance in that wild ecosystem. And each critter and piece of that ecosystem plays a part in maintaining the balance of the whole system, okay? So, I've talked about this in relation to the gut because on average, what was it? I think for the modern Western person, we have about 30% of the original species of microbes in our guts extinct, similarly to how there are, species in the wild that are extinct because we've messed with the ecosystem. So this way to look at the body and understand it like a little mini earth, these ecosystems, they pertain to every single part of the body. So it's the same thing with your gut. We are wanting to have a deeply diverse amount of microbes in there to maintain the homeostasis of the whole. So it's the same thing with your scalp, actually. There's a microbiome to your scalp. And because we've all been programmed to be, overly cleansing and sterilizing ourselves, we have been unintentionally basically uprooting tons and tons of these microscopic organisms that make up the microbiome of our scalp. So a part of this, deconditioning from the way that we were programmed to take care of our bodies, kind of rewilding, if you will, a big part of that is understanding that on a deeper level, we're working to restore this natural ecosystem in your gut, on your scalp, in your mouth, on your skin. Every part of your body, microscopically, has a whole world of microorganisms that are necessary in order to maintain homeostasis of the whole universe that you are. So as we are starting to incorporate this new way of taking care of our hair, I wanted to point this out and remind everyone that a part of this is this restoration of the delicate ecosystem that keeps the pH and everything balanced in our scalps. So because we have been more or less damaging our scalps for most of our lives because we didn't know any better, it takes time to restore that ecosystem. And, there's no way to rush it. There's only, basically the only thing that we can do is stop doing the things that negatively impact our health and different ecosystems of our body, and then start providing a supportive environment, an atmosphere, so that the body can restore that balance on its own. And this type of thing takes time. You can imagine, if we went out into a wild ecosystem and a lot of it got cleared, or certain parts of it got cleared out, and then you want to try and restore it, like if you ripped out all the trees, or like a whole species of plant, if you will, it's not just going to be restored overnight just because you stop doing the damage. It's actually going to take some time for the ecosystem to be restored, for the natural, you know, biology of things to regrow. And there's, you know, things that the human could do to help, you know, like help Mother Earth restore faster. But in essence, the way that Mother Nature moves and grows, we can't hurry. She has a process that is, you know, perfected all by itself, and it takes time. So I want you to think about that when it comes to your scalp, because that's essentially what is going to be happening with everyone's scalp. Is we're doing like a whole reprogramming and deprogramming. And I can tell you, you know, my journey through deprogramming when it comes to hair care started, I don't know, like 13 years ago maybe. And I went through a process where I didn't wash it for a good while, and I just let it get pretty gross. I think I might have mentioned this in the video, but I was intentionally basically just letting my scalp kind of like do its thing for a while and rewild. And I had to keep it wrapped up for, I don't know, a month or two, because it was not culturally appropriate to be walking around in public with like a bunch of dandruff, but I think it was really good for the health of my scalp. So just keep that in mind, that this type of adjustment that we're doing with all of these practices is like a huge recalibration to our conditioning, and also to the way that our bodies, the ecosystem of our bodies, maintain themselves. They're gonna need a little bit of adjusting, you know, but all of these things are meant to be implemented as lifestyle changes. Really, that's how all of this benefits us in the long run, is cultivating it all to be a sustainable lifestyle. All of these practices are meant to be incorporated into the way that we are living and existing. And the longer you practice these new ways of caring for your body temple, the more your vitality is going to like really be restored at a deep cellular level. And it takes time. So just remember that as we're moving through all of these different practices, that on a molecular level, on a microscopic level, you have entire ecosystems throughout your body that are slowly, gently starting to restore as you make these shifts to your lifestyle. Okay, I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. I'm really excited to see you on Monday for our full moon face ritual.